Hey Blake, we really need to talk. I've reached my limit with all of this. I was wondering if you could do something about Bailey?
Huh? What do you mean by that? What about Bailey?
Don't you know? We've talked about this a few times before. Bailey just keeps on making herself at home, and she's been doing this without telling us first. This has been happening day after day. She keeps coming over without telling us and stays for the entire day. Also, she keeps complaining about how I clean up our own house. It's rather frustrating. I feel like I've got no time to relax as she's always here.
How could you say something so cold about my mother? My mother's always there for you.
But what does that even mean for me?
I asked my mom to go around the house. I told her that you're really bad at doing the housework and to help educate my wife. That's why she comes over every day. You're the worst wife for treating this as a problem when it's not.
Why would you even say that I'm bad at housework? I'm trying to do my best every day in my own way. I'm confident that I'm doing housework diligently than other people in their homes. How could you say that to me?
Oh, really? Do you think you're doing the work to that extent? You think you're so funny, Belinda.
Yes, because I make 3 meals a day for the 365 days of the year. Don't you realize that? I've made it all from scratch, and I've never relied on prepared foods or frozen meals. At your request, the snacks that I make for you at 3 o'clock on the holidays are also homemade.
That's just a part of what you've got to do for me as a housewife. My mother used to do that kind of thing for me as well when I was a child.
She did every single thing for you, including all the laundry and cleaning? Don't you realize I do my best every day to make sure I'm not leaving a single speck of dust on the floor or left on any piece of furniture? I separate the washing by color and wash all your underwear completely by hand. I'm the only person in the house who does this every day.
So you're saying that you're trying to do your best at the level you're sitting on? That's pathetic. You forgot to take out the trash the other day. You also failed to iron my shirt yesterday, didn't you?
I didn't do that because I didn't get enough sleep. I ended up just dozing off because I had a fever. If I'm having to wake up at 4 in the morning and only go to bed at 2 in the morning, there's no way I'll be able to get rid of my fatigue.
My mother lived like that as well, and she had no problems doing all the housework. The house was always completely spotless. You say that you're doing your best, but it's meaningless if you're not producing good results. Even a housewife can understand that much, right? You were also a functional member of society up until a few years ago, weren't you? You should understand hard work, right?
I suppose I do. I know I do a lot of hard work. I give 100% of my housework, and I understand that you don't like how I do it, Blake. Well, then please at least tell Bailey to not take my personal belongings when she's in my house.
What are you talking about? What personal belongings has she even taken?
Actually, over the past few months, more and more of my personal belongings have been disappearing from our house. I only recently found out who the culprit was. Every time Bailey comes over to our house, she's taking something without asking my permission first. It's like she thinks it's her God-given right to take my things.
Now just stop. Why would you say that my mother's taking your things? How dare you say something like that to our own son? Those are strong accusations, Belinda.
When I questioned her about it, she said exactly the same thing you just did. How dare you accuse your mother-in-law of stealing? She said she was borrowing my things for a little while and that whatever belongs to my son's wife belongs to her, so it doesn't matter. It obviously matters, Blake. It's my stuff she's taking. She's never returned what she's borrowed. It's just stealing.
Well, to solve it, we can just pretend that we gave her the things as a gift, so don't worry about it. My mother comes to watch and instruct you on how to do your housework every day. You should be grateful. Considering all this, her fees are really cheap, so you should be following her orders.
What the heck are you talking about? She's charging me fees for this? Even though she's bossy and stealing from me? I didn't ask for any of this to happen. I know how to do housework.
Stop making fun of what she's doing and accusing her of theft. You're such a narrow-minded wife. You're so annoying.
Okay, so are you going to replace the books that have been taken from me? Bailey's taken so much that I hardly have any cosmetics anymore. Haven't you noticed those things are gone? I'm almost out of clothing and bags. It's going to cost a few $1,000s to buy everything that she took again.
Are you kidding me? A few $1,000s? I'm not buying any of that crap for you. You can get that yourself with your own money. Don't even think about trying to splurge on clothes and bags with your husband's money.
Are you kidding me? I've got hardly anything left after what Bailey took.
You've got savings from when you used to work like us normal people. Use that so you can buy it again yourself.
But I'm just a housewife right now. I don't have any money to spend on things. Why won't you help me? You're my husband. And yet, you tell me to use up the precious savings I've got? What am I supposed to do if my savings account has nothing left for the future?
Don't you know how to answer your own questions? I guess you have to go back to work if that's the case. If you got time to talk about nonsense like this, then you got time to perfect your housework skills. Stop being so useless and get back to work.
Hey, Belinda, we need to discuss something right now. How dare you talk badly about me to my own son? He's not the one who's treating me like a thief, thinking that I've stolen your belongings. How dare you? Oh, is that so? Is that what he told you I was saying? Stop playing games with me. Don't you dare call me a thief again. You're such a disappointment. Blake told me earlier what you said. He told me to take anything as an instructional fee on teaching you how to clean. He said to take how much I want. What the heck is that supposed to mean? Do you think you've got any right in taking my stuff? Yes, and my son has finally recognized that. From now on, I can come in and out and take whatever I like as payment. You know I was worried about how there was only good food in your fridge. Would you please stop doing this? I've completely reached my limit with you. This is too far. What's that supposed to mean? I'm your mother-in-law and I can treat you however I like. I feel like there's a hole in my stomach from all the stress you've put me under. Since I've become a housewife, Blake has become more strict with the housework. Now he doesn't even treat me as his wife, but just as some housekeeper. No matter how many times I ask you, you still come over like you own the place. You need to ask me to come over. I am so sick of living like this. This is how a housewife should be treated. I'm not saying anything else about it. Everyone used to be like this. I've been told that I'm allowed to do whatever I want as your mother-in-law. Why would you repeat something like this to others when you wouldn't want it done to you? Oh, shut up, Belinda. You're such a terrible wife to my son. Well, most of the time. Who do you think you owe to be able to live in the house that you do? The land that the house is on is that land that I gave to both of you. Yes, you've told me this before, Bailey, but... So what's wrong with going onto your land whenever I like? The land is no longer in your name, Bailey. Even if it's in my son's name, what's mine is mine. That's why I'll continue to go over to your house whenever I feel like it. I don't see what's so wrong about taking what's on the land that my son owns. You can't just do that to me. That's stealing, as those things don't belong to you. Thanks to the money that my son earns, we can live in such a spacious house. I'm too selfish to stop doing what I'm doing, so I don't plan on stopping at all. Also, you're not good at housework compared to me, and you're not very friendly at all. I wonder why my son married such a useless wife. I wish he'd get rid of you sooner rather than later. I'm so sick of you hanging around my son. I guess I see what your true nature is, Bailey. I also just want to leave Blake for how he's treating me and how he lets you treat me like crap. Are you kidding me with this nonsense? How dare you say something like that about my son in front of his own mother? I'll remind my son of the things you just said to me. He'll make you pay for that. I've had it up to here with both in terms of how you've treated me since I stopped working. I want to be free from you. I feel so trapped when you're both giving me crap. I'm really at my limit now, and if this continues, I am really going to consider divorcing you.
Oh, is that so? If you're going to keep saying that over and over again, then why don't you do that? You're supposed to be my wife and not threaten me. If you keep being like this towards me and my mother, then you leave me no choice but to divorce you.
Are you kidding me? Me threaten you? You're the one doing it to me. You'd really divorce me on something I don't even do to you?
You think you're so cocky. I can't even understand you anymore. We all know you can't live without me, but you keep saying silly things like this. Even if we were to get a divorce, even someone as stupid as you will understand how important it is to have a husband. I'm at the courthouse right now since it's such a short walk from my office. I'll file the divorce papers as you wish and bring them over for you to sign.
What? You're actually going to do that? Even though I've done everything that you've ordered me to do?
It's too late to cry and moan about it now, Belinda. I'll immediately file for divorce. Get out of my house, you useless, good-for-nothing wife.
Okay, but you do realize that this is my house, right? Oh, wait, but you're really filing for the divorce papers right now?
Yes, that's what I just said. I'm filing for the divorce papers right now. I'm staring at them intently. I scribbled your signature in the text box. The people at the courthouse quickly accepted my request without saying anything.
You know that it's not a good thing to use someone else's signature on a form like that. Well, I guess for me it's a relief to get the divorce out of the way, so I'll take it as no questions asked. Thank you for divorcing me. That means you need to get out of my house right away, okay?
Hey, what did you just say to me? That house that I used to make you clean up every day, my mother gave me the land and I built the house on it. Therefore, that house on that land is mine, not yours. You need to pack your things and get out as soon as I come home.
Now just hold on a minute there, pal. Aren't you forgetting some really important details, Blake? It's true that you built that house, but then you put all the details in my name. The house, the land it sits on, all have been transferred from your name to mine.
Are you kidding me with this crap right now, Belinda?
You're the one who said that to me right after it was finished being built, didn't you? You're the one who said that a wife should stay at home, so I just obeyed your orders, Blake. You said please quit your job and move into the house. At the time, you were still treating me well and were much more of an adult about things. You said when I become a housewife, everything will be in your name. That's what your promise was to me, right?
Oh, okay. I somewhat remember what I said to you. At the time, I did write that the house and land are in your name.
Yes, and did you realize that giving up your job to start a family is a huge risk as well? So I was super anxious if we got a divorce or if something happened to you, so you made that promise to me. You said that you'll change the names to mine on the document so that I'm in safe hands no matter what happens. That's when you started to beg me to become a housewife.
I really can't believe this. What am I supposed to do now? I've already filed the divorce papers.
Well, tough. You've got no rights to this house anymore, Blake. You shouldn't have treated me like you did, and none of this would have happened. As the owner of this property, I refuse you to take anything more from me.
But you can't just do that to me. I've done so much for you.
You're the one who needs to pack their bags and move out of the house. I'll give you a little bit of time to do that. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Good luck and take care of yourself. You evil woman! How dare you take the land I own? You need to give that land and the rights to the house back to my son. I've got no intention of giving anything to you. You deserve nothing. Your son was the one who gave me the land and the house in the first place, Bailey. I'm telling you now, he put everything in my name. I don't intend on giving any of the land or house back to Blake. Don't say such stupid things to me. Cut it out. Where's my son supposed to live now, then? Well, he could also go and live with you, Bailey, since he always used to take your side over mine. It's probably a good idea for him to go back to his parents' house if he wants everything done for him. That's definitely not an option. It would be impossible, okay? I literally just sold the house. There's no family home anymore. Where's he supposed to go back to if I've sold the house? Wait, what? You sold your house? Why would you do that? Because I intended on moving into your house once my son divorced you. My house has been standing for several decades and it's already so old. So I thought I'll sell my house and then move in with my son as his house is brand new. Are you kidding me? You think I'd let you move in after you stole from me and bossed me around? You were planning to move back into this house behind my back? I heard nothing of this plan. There was no way I was going to tell my son's useless wife about this plan. Blake was never going to refuse me from living with him, so he stayed quiet about it. And now the sale process has finally been completed. I was planning on moving in at the beginning of the week. At the beginning of the week? Why then? Because you'd both be divorced by then and he would have kicked you to the curb like you deserved. But now there's no way we can do that. I can't believe my son would be so stupid to give the house and the land to you. Hey, I'd watch what you say to me, Bailey. You're on thin ice. If the divorce had been slowed down, this would have been an even more painful experience for me, but what a stroke of luck that I got everything. So you're just going to keep everything for yourself? What's my son supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I can't just turn around and tell my real estate agent that I'm not going to sell my house after all. How did this even happen when everything was going according to plan? Everything went wrong and it's all because of you. Go off and complain to your son about it. I don't want to hear it. He's the one who divorced me using a lot of his own stupid force. If you'll excuse me, I've got things to organize. I've got to go and put Blake's luggage in the front yard.
Belinda, I can't believe what I've done to you. I'm so sorry.
Huh? Why are you even apologizing to me now, Blake?
I've just realized how horrible I've been, and it's because of my mom's influence on me. She was so horrible to you, and she was trying to push me to make you do everything so that she'd be able to get what she wanted out of us. Look, I didn't want to say anything, but I got fired from my job.
You what? What the heck happened? Why are you telling me this?
You were in charge of all the saving. Can you please give me a bit so I can pay for some living expenses? I really need it.
Are you kidding me? After the way you and your mother treated me? I'm not going to help you out, not this time or any other time.
But you can't just abandon me like this. I need financial help. And please, Belinda, I'm begging you. Don't leave me without any money to live.
You are such a horrible person for the way you've treated me as your house slave. Your mother had no right to say or do the things she did to me. If you want to earn some money so that you can save it for a rainy day or to pay for whatever you need to pay for, you need to look for a job. You know, a thing that normal people do. I'm done with all of this. Goodbye and good luck with your life. After what happened with Blake and his mother Bailey, I heard that they moved into a rundown apartment together. During his unemployment period, he was under a lot of stress. Apparently, he was secretly addicted to buying big purchase items and gambling. Because of that, he had nothing saved up in his bank account. Also, I discovered that Bailey didn't have enough funds in her retirement account. All the housework being done at her old house was outsourced for a long time by a cleaning company. She couldn't even cook a proper meal. If this continues, Blake was told that he'd have to remarry and find a wife who can earn money and do the housework. It seems like the two of them have been working hard together, but no one will agree to go on a date with him as he lives with his mother and he's unemployed and divorced. I want to show that's obvious to his face.
You're Caitlin, aren't you? Geoff's wife? No, I'm not. Huh? Would you mind telling me who this is? It's me, Miley. Miley. I'm afraid that doesn't ring any bells, sweetie. Oh, come on. Surely you have at least heard my name before. It's hardly common. Miley Cyrus? No, sorry. I don't have any idea who you are. Hey, don't get clever with me, smartass. How can you not know who I am? No way, that can't be. Geoff said he told you before you guys got married. that his first wife's name was Miley. Sorry, but you make less sense with every message. Firstly, my husband's name isn't Geoff. Secondly, me and my husband were high school sweethearts. He couldn't possibly have a history of divorce because I'm his first and only wife. Of that, I'm certain. Oh, I know what's going on here. This is all a coping mechanism because you're in denial about the fact I stole your husband. Geoff slammed a set of divorce papers down in your face and demanded your signature, didn't he? Yep, that's right. I know everything. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know a Geoff, and I'm certainly not married to one. Won't you cut this out already? I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt because I thought this was just an innocent case of mistaken identity at first. But now, you're just annoying me. Oh, won't you look at that? Geoff's back. Which can only mean he just got done handing in the divorce papers. Seriously, what are you talking about? I neither know nor care what this Geoff of yours is doing. But I can tell you for sure that he's not my husband, and that my actual husband is currently out of state on a business trip. I don't know anything about divorce papers. I most certainly haven't had my signature demanded for any, and me and my husband have no intention of divorcing whatsoever. Your pathetic resistance is in vain, lady. Quit burying your head in the sand already, 'cause it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. I don't get why you're so insistent on denying the divorce when you're the one who signed the papers to begin with. You can kick and scream and struggle as much as you want. But the fact of the matter is that Geoff's heart has wandered back to its rightful owner. Me. How about I tell you something for free? Because I'm so kind. Listen up. It's important to know when to quit, darling. Sucks to be you, huh? You're nothing but used up goods now. Bye, you tragic loser. Me and my lovely Geoffykins are headed down to hand in our marriage registration first thing tomorrow morning. And there's no thing you can do to stop us. Hello, Caitlin. You should know that Geoff just submitted our marriage registration papers. I'm so happy to be back with my old husband now that he's rich. Thanks for agreeing to divorce him, loser. Are you seriously messaging me with this nonsense again? And what do you mean, now that he's rich? My husband is just a regular old cubicle worker who occasionally gets flown out to do business meetings. He's certainly not rich by any standard. Are you seriously still playing dumb? Stop it before my belly hurts from laughing again, Caitlin. Besides, what do you mean by my husband? I think you'll find Geoff is actually my husband now. Like I told you 1,000,000 times already. I have no idea who Geoff is, and he's not, nor was he ever my husband. That's not my husband's name. Whatever. What do I care if you deny reality? Feel free to say whatever makes you feel better, darling. Me and Geoff rekindled our old flame and got remarried. And that's an undeniable fact. And guess what? Me and my big hunky stallion are going on our second honeymoon tomorrow. I should really start putting my suitcase together. I mustn't forget to pack my naughty bunny outfit and plenty of bottles of lube. See you later, loser. Hey, Steve. Sorry to message you while you're away on your business trip. There's something I need to talk to you about urgently.
Caitlin, what is it?
Listen, I've been getting some super weird messages from some girl who seems to be trying to pick a fight with me over the last couple of days.
Trying to pick a fight with you?
She says her name is Miley, but not only do I not have the slightest idea who she is, she also seems to think I'm married to a guy called Geoff. Well, I guess he'd be my ex-husband now? Because apparently he divorced me to remarry Miley.
Whoa, what the... I have no idea how to even begin making sense of all that. So who exactly is Miley claiming to be?
She says she's Geoff's ex-wife and claims to have stolen him from me, his supposed second wife, by convincing him to divorce me. And then today, the two of them got remarried. I know it's complicated, and I don't expect you to fully understand because I don't either. But does that give you a rough gist of what's going on?
Well, so basically, this couple, Miley and Jeff, were once married, got a divorce, and now they're married again. After Jeff and Miley got divorced the first time round, he married another woman. And Miley is convinced that other woman is you?
Yep, you summarized it perfectly. That's what seems to be going on.
Wait a sec. This is just a possibility, but do you think there's any chance? Well, do you think the Jeff she's talking about could be the Jeff we used to hang out with in college?
Huh? Since when did we hang out with a Geoff in college?
You know, tallest guy in the whole group. It was like Godzilla. But didn't you exchange numbers with him at one point?
Wait a sec. Do you mean... Hang on. Was that guy's name Geoff?
Yeah. Yeah, you could be forgiven for not knowing it, though. And I don't know why, but he has this weird complex about his name, so he had everyone call him Baxter, his surname. As a result, that's pretty much all he was ever known as. And there were quite a lot of people who ended up thinking Baxter was his first name.
Ah, that's it. I thought his name was Baxter, too. When we swapped numbers at the graduation ceremony, he put his name in my phone as Baxter. I had no idea he was really called Geoff all along.
I see. So is that what's going on here?
Is there a possibility it could be him? I would have never hit on this if not for you, Steve, but to be honest, it's the only explanation I can think of.
How about I try messaging him? I always did hang out with him more than you did back in college, so I guess you wouldn't find it that weird if I messaged him. You might have his guard up if you did it yourself.
Right, you're right. Would you mind, babe? Sorry to trouble you with this.
Sure thing. Oh, don't mention it. To be honest, I have an unusual amount of free time on my business trip this time around, so good mystery to solve might have been just what I needed. I'll be in touch as soon as I know anything.
Thanks, babe. You're the best.
Hey, Caitlin. Sorry I kept you waiting. I'm on the train back home as we speak. I finally got a reply from Jeff.
What did he say? Did you find anything out?
You could say that. Your jaw's going to hit the floor when I tell you this. So, it turns out that Jeff was originally married to a woman named Miley at one point. But they ended up getting a divorce when he found out she was cheating on her with a local rapper called Tyrone. And he said he has zero intention of ever even speaking to her again, let alone patching things up or remarrying her.
Wow. Just wow.
He was astonished when I told him Miley had been messaging you. He theorized she could have gotten your number back when they were married when she was playing around with his phone. Apparently, she had a habit of doing that. He apologized profusely for getting you wrapped up in her crazy shenanigans. But then, he said something interesting. So get this. Apparently, the whole Miley problem will be solved the day after tomorrow.
What's that supposed to mean?
After divorcing Miley, Jeff started a company with one of his buddies from college. But according to him, ever since the company made it big time, and he became, in his own words, filthy rich, she's been following him around wherever he goes, like woman possessed. I don't know exactly what he plans on doing, but he said this whole problem will go away the day after tomorrow.
Wait a sec. The day after tomorrow? She said that's when the two of them are planning on going on their second honeymoon. Do you think that could have something to do with it?
I'm sorry, babe. I've got to get off the train in a sec, but I'll be home in just under 30 minutes. Let's continue this conversation then.
Got it. Be careful on the way back, sweetie.
Today's the day me and my Geoff leave for our second honeymoon. Guess where we're going? My dream holiday destination, Hawaii. It's almost time to leave the house, and I can barely contain myself. Sorry, darling. I know you're probably overwhelmed with uncontrollable feelings of soul-crushing jealousy right now. But let's face it, you were never going to be able to compete with someone as drop-dead gorgeous as me. Look how loved up we are. We're the perfect couple. It'll be better for your mental health if you just give up. Caitlin, what the heck is going on here? What did you do? You've got some explaining to do, woman.
Oh my god, that photo you sent earlier. I'm so sorry, but when I saw that picture of Geoff, I burst into a fit of hysterical laughter so intense, I accidentally dropped my phone.
What? Why? What's so damn funny?
That photo. It's from back when you guys got married the first time around 3 years ago, right? Me and my husband did a video call with Geoff this morning. He has a small tattoo on his arm now. Isn't it strange how there doesn't seem to be one in the photo?
Wait, what? A tattoo?
Yep, you know how in fashion they are these days. Apparently, he got the inspiration for it when he went to Japan last year and saw a bunch of Yakuza dudes covered in them from head to toe. But there was no tattoo anywhere to be seen in your photo. Be honest, Miley, this whole thing was nothing but a sad little scheme of yours from the get-go, wasn't it? What you're doing is so ridiculous and absurd that I suspect you may be mentally deranged and in need of actual professional help. I burst out laughing so hard when I saw that picture that I dropped my phone. Thankfully, it landed on a cushion, so it's not damaged or anything.
Hey, stop that! I know what you're doing. Don't try to change the subject. I just messaged Geoff to let him know I'd arrived at the airport and was super excited about our romantic honeymoon vacation to Hawaii. But he said he wasn't flying to Hawaii, but that he was going to Europe where his wife's waiting for him. What the hell is going on here? Nothing makes sense anymore. Did you guys secretly stay married when he told me you were divorcing?
How many times are you going to make me say it, Miley? Geoff is not my husband.
But Geoff himself told me, you moron, that his second wife's name was Caitlin.
Yeah, about that. You were being so terrifyingly persistent with your demands for Geoff to tell you a second wife's name that he deemed it dangerous for him to reveal any genuine information. So he decided to fool you with a fake name. The main character from a novel he happened to be reading at the time. But, in an unfortunate stroke of bad luck, that name happened to be exactly the same as mine, his old friend from college.
Huh? His old friend from college?
He only ever went by his surname back then, so I had no recollection of him ever being called Geoff. Which is why I didn't even realize it was him you were talking about until my husband, who went to the same college as we did, pointed out the possibility.
What? What? Wait. I need to read through your messages one more time.
Geoff's #1 priority is to protect his actual wife at all costs. Which is why, while dealing with you with a strategy of subtle evasion and avoidance, he decided to send her to their new house in Europe, a step ahead of him just to be safe.
Wait a sec. Hang on. There's something that doesn't make sense. What about the divorce papers and the marriage registration documents?
Since I haven't actually seen any of your private exchanges, or indeed the documents themselves, I can only comment based on what Geoff himself told me during our video call this morning. But regarding your divorce, he said that you did nothing but beg, plead, whine, and wail while clinging to him desperately for a second chance. As for the divorce papers, supposedly to divorce me, and the marriage registration papers, supposedly to remarry you, his guess is that you made a misunderstanding while you were out stalking him because you saw him near the county clerk's office when he was grocery shopping at the supermarket next door. As for the marriage registration papers you left in his mailbox, he shredded them immediately.
What? He put our marriage papers in the shredder.
Finally, Geoff's company recently placed him on a transfer to a certain country in Europe, which means he'll be moving there with his wife for the foreseeable future. But you, being completely deranged and in need of professional mental help, in a mental gymnastics performance worthy of the gold, interpreted him going to Europe as the two of you going on a honeymoon to Hawaii. He did tell you he was going to Europe, but you were so gleefully obsessed with the idea of your honeymoon that you kept insisting he cancel his flight and rebook for Hawaii. Eventually, he came to the realization that no matter what he told you, you'd interpret it through your own lens of fantasy and delusion. Correcting you rapidly came to feel boring and tedious. Your behavior was creeping him out so much that he sent his wife out a week earlier than planned, and he soon followed her after tying up a few loose ends here in Colorado. Ugh, that was a long one. Yep, that about wraps it up.
Wait, what's going on? Caitlin, please, what's happening here? Wait, no! Does this mean me and Geoff didn't really get remarried? And my precious darling Geoff isn't even in America anymore? He left me?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. I gotta say, Miley, I'm impressed you actually seem to understand this time. Anyway, are we done here?
What?
I was only ever Geoff's friend from college whose name, unfortunately, happened to overlap with the fake one he used to try and trick you. So I should never have been dragged into this whole mess to the absurd degree I was to begin with. And we sure as hell don't have anything else to discuss now. Oh, and before you ask, Geoff didn't tell me his new address in Europe. So even if you asked me for it, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Oh my god. No! This is bad. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad! You have to help me, Caitlin. I'm in debt. I have to make the next repayment by the end of this month or I'll be in serious trouble. You don't know who I'm dealing with, Caitlin. I swear, they're dangerous. They already threatened to hurt me. I'm so scared.
That's all very unfortunate. But you see, Miley, your screwed up life is not my problem.
What?
We're done here. Bye.
Oh my god. No!
It turned out Geoff was already aware of the debt Miley mentioned at the end there. Apparently, it came from the time a judge ordered that she pay damages after getting into a serious car accident while driving uninsured. Her savings didn't cover it, so she had no choice but to go into debt. Instead of actually working to pay it off herself, she decided to try and worm her way back into her ex-husband Geoff's good books, whom she discovered was now extremely wealthy after reading an article that featured him, called Up-and-Coming Hotshot CEOs in a magazine. As for what happened later on, Miley, who still hadn't given up on the idea of remarrying her old flame, showed up at his parents' place in a desperate bid to track him down after he left for Europe. She kicked down their front door and interrupted the residents' afternoon coffee when she barged her way into the living room and growled, "Give me Geoff's address. Help me win him back," in a deep, menacing tone while frothing at the mouth like a rabid dog. I say the residents because Geoff's parents had already moved out a long time ago. In a hilarious irony, Miley was ordered to pay damages yet again. And with that, her already absurdly high levels of debt inflated to levels previously unimaginable. My sources tell me she was last sighted being bundled into the truck of a black car by a bunch of heavily tattooed bald guys in leather jackets.